Everybody, it's your boy Angel. Hope and pray that you're having a blessed day. I know I am. So today I'm going to be bringing you guys my brand new Metaphys deck. This deck does some really stupid stuff. It really does. It's actually low-key kind of broken, though, especially once you get your engine going. So let's show you what you guys got, what I got today, guys. Starting off, I'm running the 3 Metaphys Ragnarok. This is the heart and soul of the deck. This is the bread and butter. This really was get your engine started right here. What it does is it's normal summon. You can mill 3. And I banish 3 cards at the top of your deck, and it gains 300 for each Metaphys card. And then that you banish off the top of the deck. And then what happens is if this inflicts damage, you get the special summon a Metaphys monster from your deck. So you need to run this at 3. Then next up, we're running 3 Metaphys Nephthys. What this does is if it's a special summon off the effect of a Metaphys monster, this banishes my opponent's back row. Excellent card all around. Also, if it's banished during the standby phase, I can search for a Metaphys card. So it's excellent card. Once again, all these are 3-ofs. You're not going to run any of them at 2 or 1, etc. You need to run all your Metaphys monsters to the max potential. So next up, got this is your OTK machine right here. This is your Metaphys Tyrant Dragon. What this does, if it's special summoned by the effect of a Metaphys monster, it can swing twice, and then it's also immune to trap cards. Also, if it's banished during the standby phase, I can return this, shuffle the card back into the deck, which is something that all these cards do except for Ragnarok. If they're banished, you shuffle them back into the deck during the standby phase that after they were banished, and they gain their effects. And so what this does is, if it's shuffled back into the deck off that effect, you get the special summon a Metaphys monster from your hand. And so what you can do is something like you have this banished, and then shuffle this back into the deck, summon this during standby phase, banish your opponent's back row. Or you can have something like, you can even do this for itself, or you can shuffle this back into the deck, bring this out right there, and that will trigger the effects as well. Next up, we're running 3 Metaphys Daedalus. I feel that this should have been a super as well. This card is just amazing. What this does is if it's special summoned off the effect of a Metaphys monster, this banishes all my opponent's face-up special summon monsters. And then if it's banished, I can banish 1 Metaphys card. Etc. So this right here really is just, like I said, this card, I dropped this more than once. This card is just like straight poison. It's really good. As I said, I feel it should have had a slight rarity bump. Excellent card all around. So once again, especially I like using this in tandem with my Tyrant Dragon. Banish this, special summon this during standby phase. It's like completely as board wipe right there. It's an excellent all around card. And as I said, you want to max out on 3-ofs of each of these cards. You want to keep your core at 3 apiece, because you really need to see these as often as possible to make your engine as consistent as possible. And none of them are really for what they do in the deck, none of them are really bricks, so you really want to max out on that. Then next up, 3 Eater of Millions. Reason why we're running this, number 1 is broke, and then it gets you over a lot of problem things that are in the game right now. And if it doesn't get over it in terms of banishing it face down once I attack with it, it really baits out my opponent. So where they have to kind of target the Eater of Millions with what they want to do in terms of disruption play, and also opens up the lane for my Ragnarok to swing and be able to press for damage, and then be able to initiate effects off of that. So the 3 Eater of Millions has been very solid for me. It makes really increases the deck ceiling. It adds some real oomph to it, because sometimes it can struggle to press for damage the way that you want it to. You really want it to be a flowing type of thing. There's ways to put big bodies on the board, but that's really more so of your normal summoning, etc. Pressing for damage, and then your monster is banished with a certain card. I'm going to show you what that is later during the deck profile, but this really opens up a lot more potential for the deck. So 3 Eater of Millions has been a very solid addition for me. And then finally I run the 1 Necrophase. I was contemplating running this at 2, but just 1 is fine for me, simply because I really don't want to draw this card. I want to banish it off the effect of something I'm going to show you later in the deck profile, and then when that's said and done, I want to get it back in 2 turns anyway. So it might be alluding to, you might already know what card I'm alluding to, but I only want to run the 1 Necrophase because I really want to see this banish. Only want to see this being banished, and then milling or banishing 5 off the top of the deck. Me and my opponent, which really can get my engine started, and it can really cripple my opponent's deck. So just the 1 Necrophase, and that's all for the monsters. Next up, excellent card, 3 Metaphys. What this does is I can banish a Metaphys card from my hand, and then draw 1 card. Then if a Metaphys card is banished, depending on which turn player it is. If it's during my opponent's turn, all my opponents switch the attack position of their monsters, and if it's during my turn, all my opponents' monsters lose. All monsters on the field lose 500 attack and defense that are not Metaphys monsters. So this is a really excellent all-around card. This really honestly keeps the consistency going in the deck without necessarily having to add too many foreign engines. So really good all around. As I said, it's 3 of. Next up, 3 low-key, the most broken card in the deck, Metaphys Factor. What this does is allows me to, once per turn, I can normal summon a level 5 or higher Metaphys monster from my hand, but it's banished during the end phase. Once again, that also can jumpstart your engine as well and be able to trigger your effects. So everything works in tandem very well. The deck is really underrated in terms of its consistency. Certain other people I've heard, they really don't want to touch the deck because, they think it might break a little bit. And anything can break, but the deck does actually flow very well once you really get it going. And Metaphys Factor, as I said, allows me to put a big body on the board for free, get over a problem monster, whatnot. And because of stuff like that, I don't even have to run things like Dark Hole or Regeki because I can just, normal and then be able to get over something. But Metaphys Factor also, second effect is that if my opponent cannot activate cards or effects chaining to in response to my Metaphys monsters, which is really, really absolutely broken. It really is. That's really what allows for, your OTK pushes. Things like that, just really allows for, as I said, completely stupid stuff. I mean, me being able to drop a monster, banish my opponent's back row, not be able to respond to it, being able to drop, a monster, banish all my opponent's special summon monsters, not being able to chain to that is just really, really busted. So this really, this, in my opinion, is probably the best card in the deck next to Ragnarok. Next up, 3-set rotation. Everything is field spell deck right now. Anything relevant, rather. I mean, ABC, Trickstar, Spirals need their field spell, everything. So once again, the 3-set rotation because I want to be able to kind of lock them out of those plays. And if you really lock a lot of those decks out of those plays while being able to get your play started as well with your field spell, that's all the better. So once again, a 3-set rotation, I think it's really kind of a must in this format if you have anything that's running a field spell. Next up, 3 trading just for consistency. You have 6 targets for that, so just something to keep your engine going, keep seeing cards that you want to see, and get rid of the things you just not necessarily want in your hand all the time. Next up, 3 gold start cards, just amazing in this deck. If you banish if you banish basically your Metaphys, it's Rhoda. If you banish your Tyrant Dragon, it's a free special during the standby phase. It really, really opens up a lot of plays for the deck. You banish your Necrophase, it's just a really crippling play. For my opponent, it's a really, an excellent jump starter for me. So once again, the 3 gold star, just excellent all around. And this is what I was talking about with my Necrophase, the 3-to-1 ratio on that, being able to see this before I, draw the Necrophase, and pretty much having the highest, chance of me assuring myself that I'm going to be able to banish the card and get the effects that I want. Then the 2 bricks, kind of a must-have right now, the Magical Midbreaker Field, and then the 1 Gateway to Chaos. Since people are starting to kind of run Lord Gaia, I'm seeing that creep into the meta a little bit. I might cut this for something else like Zephyr Field Spell or something like that, or even possibly another one of these.
How about Silvori Calcos?
Silvori Calcos, something. But this is pretty good right now. If I see the Lord Gaia tech kind of getting real hot, I'll cut this. But for now, it's been putting in the work that I wanted to. As I said, the only real 2 bricks in the deck, but you kind of got to run them right now in the format that we're in because everything, as I said, is field spell reliant. And one last spell card, the 1 abstract, because we're on 39. And next up for the traps. You run the 3 Waterfall Dragon Souls, be able to search out your pieces, kind of like you want. Also, for consistency as well, being able to ditch, excess monsters to draw more cards, to access more plays is always good. So the 3 Waterfall Dragon Souls, at 3 has been great, especially with Ragnarok. I might mill 1 or 2 of them to, to the banish zone, etc. So you want to run to that 3. Just, that's what works for me. The 2 Metaphys Dimension, what this does is if I activate this, or my opponent special summons a monster and I activate this, I can special summon one of my banished Metaphys monsters to my side of the field, except for it's banished at the end of the turn. Also, if I, if a Metaphys card in my possession is banished, during either player's turn, rather, I can target 1 monster and 1 card on my opponent's side of the field and banish it. So it's a solid all-around card. I think it's just a 2 of. It's been working just fine for me at 2. I really don't want to max out on it because it can be situational in terms of all the practical uses that you want to be able to apply it with. But this 2 is fine for me. And then the last one is 1 Microcosmos because, as I said, huge benefit to me. Crippling to my opponent, especially everything is, Spiral, they don't want stuff to be banished. They, when they link summon, etc., they want the stuff to go to the graveyard to be able to have their recursion, etc., ABC pieces, whatnot, so nothing really wants their things banished right now in the meta, so this right here has been really, really solid for me, and that pretty much rounds up the deck profile. As for extra deck, you really don't need it. And that's situational, and that's up to your preference right now. I mean, anything that you feel is toolboxy enough, or something that you feel that is going to be beneficial to you in your duels, etc. In this meta, I run it. I'm not going to even feature one right now because, like I said, it's just right now this deck really is not reliant at all on going into the extra deck. It really doesn't even have that many extra deck plays in terms of, at least with my list. I've seen other lists, that kind of, trick it out like that. But this is really what's been working for me. So if you want to take this and use this as a blueprint to what you want to do, and whatnot, feel free. This is why we put this on here. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it. This has been your boy Angel. If you have any type of critiques, like, comment, subscribe, etc., let me know down in the comment section. And I hope you guys are blessed. May the Lord add you abundantly, and peace.